Hi, this is Jay from paulpolito.com, and welcome to another installment of our screencast series about Linux installation and package management. 102.3 Manage Shared Libraries. In this screencast, we will explain what shared libraries are and where they are stored. You also will get to know the following terms: LDD, LD Linux.so, LDconfig, library configuration, and the LD library path variable. Shared libraries. Libraries contain code and data that provide services to independent programs. Practically all programs depend on libraries to execute. To reduce the number of duplicate library files used by all different applications, shared libraries were developed. Shared libraries can be used by multiple applications, they are dynamically linked, and are called only when needed. Most shared libraries are stored in the /lib and /user lib directories, as you might have assumed already. The LDD command. To identify the libraries associated with a specific program, the command LDD is used. LDD prints the shared libraries required by each program or the shared library specified on the command line. The syntax of the LDD command is as follows: LDD, path to program. That means that you have to give the complete program path to the LDD command. In this output, you see that our command points to several shared libraries associated with the multipath command. Note that the .so indicates that these are shared object or dynamic libraries. To identify the unused direct dependencies of the multipath command, we have to give LDD with the -u option, like this. Dynamic loading with LD Linux.so. As already mentioned, the .so files are generally shared object or dynamic libraries, but the file LD Linux.so is actually an executable in its own right. LD Linux.so is the code that is responsible for dynamically loading. LD Linux.so reads the header information from the executable, which is in the executable and linking format, or ELF format. From this information, it determines what libraries are required and which ones need to be loaded. LD Linux.so then performs dynamic linking to fix up all the address pointers in your executable and the loaded libraries so that the program will run. The places and the order where LD Linux.so is searching for the shared libraries needed by the programs are all paths of the environment variable, LD library path, the file /etc ld.so.cache, the directories /lib and /user lib. The LDconfig command. LDconfig creates the necessary links and cache to the most recent shared libraries found in the directories specified in the file /etc ld.so.conf and in the directories /lib and /user lib. When run without any options, the LDconfig command caches library links in the /etc ld.so.cache file. The LDconfig command ensures that the library cache file is up to date if you have, for example, just installed new libraries, or if you have made changes in related configuration files under the /etc ld.so.conf.d directory. To display the actual content of the ld.so.cache file, you have to use the -p option of LDconfig. What you see are all libraries linked to actual locations in the directory tree. Library configuration. The LDconfig command searches directories based on the configuration file /etc ld.so.conf. This file generally only includes a single directive, similar to this. This includes all directives in star.conf files in the mentioned subdirectory. The purpose of the files in this directory is to point the system to library files in non-standard directories. For instance, on most Linux systems, library files are located in the /lib and /user lib directory trees. Additional directories are commonly configured in star.conf files in the /etc ld.so.conf.d directory, as already discussed. To give an example, I'll show you the content of my /etc ld.so.conf.d directory. The file, MySQL i386.conf, points the system to the /user lib MySQL directory for related library files. The LD library path variable. If you're running an older application that also needs a specific older version of a shared library, you might want to override the default search paths used by the loader. Just as you can set the path variable to specify a search path for all executables, you can set the LD library path variable to a colon-separated list of directories that should be searched for shared libraries before the system ones specified in the ld.so.cache. For example, you might use a command like the following to set the required path variable. Summary. Libraries contain code and data that provide services to independent programs. Practically all programs depend on libraries to execute. To identify the libraries associated with a specific program, the command ldd is used. ld.linux.so is the code that is responsible for dynamically loading. ldconfig creates the necessary links and cache to the most recent shared libraries found in the directories specified in the file /etc ld.so.conf and then the directories /lib and /user lib. The ldconfig command caches library links in the /etc ld.so.cache file. The ldconfig command searches directories based on the configuration file /etc ld.so.conf and also in the directories /lib and /user lib. Just as you can set the path variable to specify a search path for all executables, you can also set the ld library path variable to a colon-separated list of directories. Study points. Study the LDD man page and the options given there. Be aware of the options -u, -v, and -version. Study the ldconfig man page and memorize the different options available with this command. Examine the directories /lib and /user lib and understand that these are the main directories for all libraries. Read the ld.linux.so and ld.so man pages. Remember the name of the path variable that you can set regarding shared libraries. This is Jay from paulpolito.com, and thanks for watching this screencast about Linux installation and package management. Until next time,